Have you ever experienced a sudden awakening from a deep sleep, unsure of what caused it? This mysterious occurrence where you're jolted awake without an apparent reason is more common than you might think. In this video, we'll explore the intriguing reasons behind these nocturnal awakenings. But first, if you're enjoying our content, don't forget to show your support by liking this video and subscribing to our channel. Stay tuned to uncover the hidden meanings behind these midnight awakenings. As daylight gives way to the evening and the stars begin to twinkle in the night sky, the prospect of a restful sleep becomes a comforting thought. Whether it follows a day filled with hard work or a lively night out, sleep is a cherished respite for everyone. Yet sometimes we find ourselves unexpectedly waking up in the middle of the night. Why would this happen, especially when sleep is our precious time to recharge? This phenomenon can be intriguing, particularly when considering the spiritual dimension of our world, which is often seen as a realm influenced by forces of good and evil, regardless of individual beliefs. The spiritual realm is often perceived as having a significant influence over the physical world. It's easy to forget that life continues its course, even when we're sound asleep. This includes the ongoing spiritual battles that are less visible to us. Have you ever pondered why many acts of wrongdoing seem to occur under the cover of night, or why darkness is frequently linked with malevolence? Nighttime is traditionally seen as an opportune moment for covert activities, often associated with nefarious deeds. Imagine if we were made aware of all the spiritual events unfolding in the background during these hours. Such knowledge would probably keep many of us awake, choosing to spend the night in prayer and vigilance instead of succumbing to sleep. When you find yourself waking up unexpectedly in the middle of the night, it might be interpreted as a divine call to prayer, an opportunity to stand against the negative forces that could be aligning against you. This concept finds a parallel in the Bible, specifically in Matthew 13:25, which states, "But while men slept, his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat and went his way." This verse suggests that during the times we are unaware or resting, there could be unseen challenges or adversities being set in our path. Essentially, the concept is that while we are asleep, unseen forces of chaos and destruction are at work. It is in response to these covert and harmful agendas that God might awaken us during the night. This unexpected awakening serves as an alert to the unseen spiritual activities around us. Though it may disrupt our rest, there's a purpose behind it. Drawing a parallel to the parable of the wheat and tares, it's suggested that just as enemies seek opportunities to infiltrate and cause harm, similar dynamics play out in the spiritual realm. The idea is that God, in his protective role, is ever watchful of these threats. He understands our vulnerabilities, especially during sleep, a time when we're unable to engage in conscious acts of prayer or vigilance. Thus, these nocturnal awakenings can be seen as a form of divine protection, a way to guard us against unseen dangers and encourage vigilance even in our most vulnerable moments. The belief here is that during sleep, a person is unable to engage in spiritual practices like reading the Bible or being aware of their environment. This state of vulnerability is seen as an opportunity by negative forces. It's during the night, under the cloak of darkness and while the world is largely at rest, that these adversarial elements, often personified as the devil, are thought to be most active. Conversely, this is also the time when God might prompt an individual to awaken and pray. The rationale behind this is akin to the idea that the best time to thwart a thief is during the act of theft. Interestingly, it is also suggested that at the very moment God rouses us for prayer, these negative forces may try to intensify our drowsiness, further challenging our vigilance. Have you noticed that you often feel particularly sleepy when it's time to wake up for prayer? This phenomenon isn't unique to our modern times. Think back to the disciples of Jesus who struggled with heavy sleepiness in the Garden of Gethsemane right before Jesus was arrested. This correlation between heightened sleepiness and the need to pray might not just be a mere coincidence. Interestingly, if you were to wake up at the same time for something like checking your phone or responding to a text message, you might not feel as exhausted. However, when it comes to prayer, it's as if there's a deliberate challenge presented, marked by an intense desire to sleep. This could be interpreted as a kind of spiritual opposition, particularly when one intends to engage in prayer. You sense a comforting yet deceptive presence, luring you with promises of rest and relaxation. It persuades you to remain in bed, casting doubts on the efficacy of prayer, suggesting it's unnecessary to disrupt your sleep for such purposes. This voice might even encourage you to delay your prayers until morning, reassuring you that everything is fine as it is. However, this advice is not to be trusted. The belief is that when you are awakened in the middle of the night, it's a sign from God, alerting you to unseen challenges or attacks. He calls you at this hour not without reason, but for you to take a proactive spiritual stance, to engage in prayer and spiritual vigilance in response to these hidden threats. This act of waking up to pray serves as a means to confront and undo any negative schemes set against you. The belief is that the devil is aware that through prayer you gain the strength to overcome his influence. Hence, he tries to hinder your spiritual vigilance by inducing an overwhelming sense of sleepiness, just enough to keep you from taking action. These moments of sudden sleepiness are seen not as random occurrences, but as strategic attempts to prevent you from tapping into the power of prayer, which he fears might disrupt his plans. Waking up to pray, though challenging, is viewed as a pathway to spiritual triumph for those who respond to this divine prompting. The greater the feeling of sleepiness, the more it is seen as a call to intensify your prayers. As your prayers grow stronger, so does the belief that any malevolent plans are being neutralized. It's suggested that many daily challenges faced by people could be linked to missed opportunities for such spiritual intervention. The idea is that God may have already prompted them to awaken and pray, a chance to address these issues at their spiritual root. It's possible that God has already communicated the nature of these challenges to individuals through dreams and visions, yet they might not have been attentive enough to act upon these revelations. This concept finds resonance in Job 40 verse 4, which states, "Behold, I am of small account. What shall I answer you? I lay my hand on my mouth." This verse suggests that God does reach out to us, but often we fail to recognize or respond to his communication. The message here is clear. Don't let a lack of awareness become a stumbling block in your spiritual journey. When you feel that inner nudge to wake up and pray in the night, it's important to heed that call and engage in earnest prayer. By doing so, you may find yourself triumphing over unseen adversities in ways that surpass all expectations. The key is to stay alert to these divine signals and respond with dedication and faith. The story of Samuel in the Bible beautifully illustrates the significance of responding to God's call, even in the middle of the night. As a young boy serving in the temple under Eli, Samuel heard his name being called by God while he was sleeping. Initially mistaking it for Eli's voice, Samuel eventually realized it was God calling him. His response, "Speak, for your servant is listening," marked a turning point in his life. From that moment, God revealed to Samuel his plans and purposes, setting him on a path to becoming one of the great prophets in the Bible. This narrative underscores the importance of being receptive to divine guidance, even when it disrupts our comfort or routine, like in the middle of the night. It's a reminder that such moments, though they may seem inconvenient, can be pivotal in shaping our destiny and deepening our spiritual journey. Samuel's story teaches us that when we feel prompted by God to wake up and pray, it's an opportunity to demonstrate our faith and willingness to follow his lead. This, however, doesn't imply that one should spend every night awake in prayer. Rather, it suggests being attuned to those special moments when God might be calling us for a specific purpose. Being responsive to such divine prompts whenever they occur is a key aspect of a faithful and spiritually sensitive life. When we're suddenly awakened in the night, it may be easy to simply turn over and continue sleeping. Yet it's crucial to consider these moments as potentially significant and to be open to what God might be communicating. While the warmth and comfort of our beds can be very appealing, recognizing and adhering to divine guidance is essential. It's natural to question why God would choose the quiet of the night rather than the busyness of the day to send us these spiritual prompts. However, God's timing is boundless. He can reach out to us at any moment, whether it's during the day or night. In the hustle and bustle of daily life, we often become too preoccupied to hear God's voice or to be aware of spiritual challenges. Nighttime, a period when distractions are minimal, can be an ideal time for God to reveal insights and truths more clearly. Even a brief period of prayer, in response to these nocturnal awakenings, can profoundly impact our lives and contribute significantly to the spiritual struggles we face. However, it's important to remember the consequences of neglecting these divine calls. Failing to make time for God, especially in these critical moments, can mean losing ground in our spiritual journey. Dedication, focus, and commitment are essential. Embracing the practice of waking up in the quiet of the night to commune with God can lead to triumphs in unseen spiritual realms. The impact of spending a few moments with God daily can be profound, greatly benefiting your spiritual well-being. Prioritize speaking to God upon waking, before checking your phone or conversing with others, as He is the one who can ensure your safety and well-being in all aspects, mentally, physically, and spiritually. There is a unique strength in nighttime prayers. A person who dedicates an hour to prayer at night can experience a deeper spiritual impact than one who prays during the day. This concept echoes the practices of Jesus, who often spent entire nights in prayer, recognizing the profound power that lies within such a spiritual discipline. The challenges we face, though unseen, are dwarfed by the powerful and benevolent plans God has for us. When we honor Him and find solace in His presence, He safeguards us through the night, keeping our souls secure. Should you awaken in the middle of the night, consider it a special opportunity, a moment where God might be seeking to communicate something vital to you. He is waiting for your attentive ear. And so, with that insight, thank you for watching. If you enjoy our videos, don't hesitate to subscribe to our channel for more inspiring content.